Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome ladies and gentlemen, yet another edition of the Citizens Manifesto और हम उस शहर में हैं जहां सब कुछ अदब से होता है, गर्मी भी अदब से पड़ती है. Yes, we are in Lucknow, the capital city of Uttar Pradesh, but of course this is the state that returns the maximum number of parliamentarians or MPs to the Lok Sabha, 80 in all. 62 went to the NDA, the BJP, the last time around. This time around, they're hoping to do 70 par in UP if they aim to do even 350 or forget 400 par. But what works for the citizens? What's changed? Because this is the big model. This is the Bimaru state where the current incumbent governments are talking about this is how double engine works. Modi at the center, Yogi in the state, and this is what we've delivered over the last 10 years in Uttar Pradesh, and that's the report card they're taking to the people. This is the place where there is nobody sitting on anybody's cycle, everybody's piggybacking on each other, but the face of the opposition in Uttar Pradesh is Akhilesh Yadav this time around, and the BSP fighting on their own. So politically, things have changed. But as voters, as citizens, and people who ply their wares in the state of Uttar Pradesh, what's changed? And that's why the Citizens Manifesto among the audience and also with us on the stage here, Shamona Khan, educationist, activist with us. Thank you. Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh. Thank you very, very much. Namaste, sir. Aman Sinha, sometimes more political, now more legal, nowadays more legal, very active in the Honorable Supreme Court, hails from Bihar but plies his wares all across Uttar Pradesh too, and that's why he's there. Thank you for making the effort, Aman Sinha. Shantanu Gupta, he's chronicled Yogi in a comic. He's written a 3-part series around Uttar Pradesh's model of governance. He's just written another book on Prime Minister's model of governance and delivery. Thank you for being with us. Good to have you. And Anamika Jain Amber, poet, एक्टिविस्ट, वक्ता तो हैं ही, और आज हमें क्या सुनाएंगी वो भी देखेंगे, कुछ अलग हमारे लिए हियर एट सिटीजंस मैनिफेस्टो. सो लार्जली इंग्लिश, बट इफ यू वांट टू स्लिप इनटू हिंदी, मोस्ट वेलकम. उर्दू आल्सो मोस्ट वेलकम, बट प्लीज स्पीक योर हार्ट एंड माइंड आउट. लेट मी स्टार्ट विद यू अनामिका जी. 10 साल में क्या बदला है फ्रॉम अ सिटीजंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू? व्हाट शुड बी और व्हाट आर यू लुकिंग फॉर इन द मैनिफेस्टो ऑफ दोज हु वांट योर वोट?
First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for being here. I am here and सभी को मेरे ओर से नमस्ते. और बहुत अच्छे प्रश्न से शुरुआत हुई है. 10 साल में क्या क्या बदला है. संसद की चौखट को चूमा लोकतंत्र को मान मिला. दुनिया भर में भारत माँ को जा जा कर सम्मान मिला. 7 दशक तक हमने देखा जिसको सहमा डरा डरा. 1 दशक में अंबर हमको निर्भय हिंदुस्तान मिला. और ये बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. यदि मेरी बात से सहमत हैं, आप लोग भी ये समझते हैं, तो सबसे बड़ी बात ये होती है कि वोटर्स जो होते हैं उनके मन में एक बात होती है कि उम्मीद कहाँ पूरी होने जा रही है. आपने क्या क्या सोचा है, क्या क्या होना चाहिए, आपके लिए क्या क्या होना चाहिए, आपके देश में क्या क्या होना चाहिए, जहां आप रह रहे हैं वहां क्या होना चाहिए, उससे ज्यादा बड़ी बात ये होती है कि जिसको आपने चुना है उससे उम्मीदें जो आपने लगाई हैं वो कितनी खरी उतर रही हैं. क्योंकि क्या क्या होना चाहिए ये हम जानते हैं, लेकिन सामने वाला क्या क्या करने वाला है वो हमें पता होना बहुत जरूरी है. 10 सालों में उत्तर प्रदेश में सबसे बड़ी बात जो हम लोगों को देखने को मिली है वो है सुरक्षा की भावना, वो है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. अभी हम रात में 12 बजे यदि हमारा मन करता है हजरतगंज जाएं आपके लखनऊ में और वहां जाकर के आधी रात में आइसक्रीम खाएं, तो हम जा सकते हैं, हम अपनी फैमिली को लेके जा सकते हैं. एक मन में ये विश्वास जागा है इस 10 साल में कि हम जा सकते हैं. कानून व्यवस्था बहुत प्रखर है, प्रचंड है और हम वो कर सकते हैं. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. यदि हथियारों की बात देखी जाए, मीन्स थोड़ा सा और आगे बढ़कर के देखा जाए, तो जिस मजबूती को आपने अभी बोला था बीमारू प्रदेश, उत्तर प्रदेश आज वो प्रदेश है जहां पर हथियारों की फैक्ट्री लगाई जा रही है, जहां पर हथियार बन रहे हैं, ब्रह्मोस. और सबसे बड़ी बात, अब ऐसा नहीं है कि उससे हमारे सैनिक लड़ेंगे, बल्कि अब हम केवल अपने देश के लिए नहीं लड़ेंगे, हमारे देश के जो मित्र देश हैं उनके भी दुश्मनों के लिए हम लड़ने वाले हैं. ये तो हुई वो वाली बात जो थोड़ा और बड़ी है. लेकिन आम आदमी क्या चाहता है? आम आदमी ये चाहता है उसका कोई नुकसान होता है तो उसकी भरपाई के लिए उसे कई चक्कर ना लगाने पड़े सरकारी दफ्तर के. जैसे एक उदाहरण देती हूँ, किसान बीमा योजना. आज किसान को जब कोई भी प्राकृतिक आपदा होती है, उसका उसका नुकसान होता है, ओले पड़ते हैं, बाढ़ आती है, कुछ भी होता है, एक ऑर्डर दिया गया है, ये आदेश पारित किया गया है कि उनको 24 घंटे के अंदर मुआवजा दिया जाए। वही 1 महीने तक दिया जाता था। लाइसेंस जल्दी बन जाए, सर्टिफिकेट्स जल्दी बन जाए, हमें लाइन में ना लगना पड़े। हाँ, एक बात जरूर है, ये तो हुआ है बदलाव, ये बदलाव हम सब ने देखा है। हमें यहाँ काम हुआ, वहां न्याय मिला, और सब जानते ही हैं इस बात को। और वो भाषा भी जानते हैं कि न्याय भी किस तरह से मिलता है। लोग डरने भी लग गए हैं, और वो जो खौफ है जो लोगों में दिखाई देना चाहिए था, वो खौफ दिखाई दे रहा है। इसीलिए कहती हूँ, मैं इस नोट पे
जी।
बात खत्म करती हूँ। मैं देख रही हूँ आगे भी पहुंचना है कि नीति, नियम और नैतिकता का मर्म सियासत में होता, नीति, नियम और नैतिकता का मर्म सियासत में होता, राम सरीखा राजा हो तो धर्म सियासत में होता। तो प्रजा चाहती है कि राम राज्य हो। राम राज्य होने के लिए राम सरीखा राजा होना जरूरी है। वो राजा जिससे उम्मीद की जा सके, जो आम आदमी की भाषा समझ सके, जो उनके मन को जान सके, उनकी छोटी छोटी जरूरतों को पूरा कर सके।
Very well said, and you covered a lot of aspects, but I think core net is one, the feeling of security, second, a feeling of self-respect, and more importantly, hope. That
Yes.
the 10 years have given me something to hope for, something to aspire for. But Shantanu, is that hope genuine? Is that hope real, or is it just a nicely packaged, marketed balloon? Which says, because the government has been quite economical with all the numbers. We don't have actual census data. Different organizations quote different points of data. Even election data is delayed. So data delay is something which has been seen as endemic to the current disposition. So there are also certain criticisms. Ground level corruption, has it really gone away? You know, everything is made ease of doing business, ease of getting license, as she was talking about. But is it as easy as getting your license? Although the processes are there, are they really being followed? As a citizen, do these aspects, do these factors matter when you go to press that button to select who your next Prime Minister is going to be?
I think we are sitting in Lucknow, and thank you for having this program in sunlight, because voters are going in this sunlight, heavy sunlight, to vote, and appeal to all of them in the rest of the phases. Do go and vote however harsh the sun is. So we're sitting in UP. Let's talk about 7 years of UP. And why UP? Because when Prime Minister says Anand double engine ki sarkar, in UP that manifests the best, because you have a leader like Yogi Adityanath at the ground, and you have a vision of someone like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and we UP walas take pride that Narendra Modi is a Sansad from UP now, right? In fact, he recently he said, Narendra Modi said ki Yogi ji mere bhi chief minister hai, and how heartily he said. See, I'm from UP, born and brought up in UP, worked in various cities in India, abroad. Whenever you went out as a UP wala, right, there was a doubt on you कि तुम्हारी तो डिग्री भी फर्जी होगी, तुम एक आध कुछ खून वून करके आए होगे. That was the image of UP. When you say UP wala bhaiya from UP and Bihar, that was almost a taint or abuse. In this 7 years and 10 years of Narendra Modi, now UP wala bhaiya is a badge of honor. Because when you say UP, you say, oh wow, that UP where you have multiple expressways, right? That UP where the film city is coming up, that UP where multiple companies are coming up, that UP when the Samsung dislodges from China, establishes a company in Noida, is that UP. And all the affirmative actions. There are 41 large Narendra Modi schemes, be it gas stove or toilet or house. UP is number 1. So these things are reaching the ground. And if you remember, just before doing the Pran Pratishtha of Ramlala in Ayodhya, 3 weeks back, Prime Minister went there, right, for the inauguration of the airport and the railway station. And he went to a poor household, and he gave the 10th crore gas connection. I think Ramlala was also waiting for these signals of Ram Rajya before coming back to the house. So Ramlala's signals are everywhere, and that's why people are voting by their feet.
Truly, is it really Ram Rajya, or is it nicely packaged? I'm going to continue to ask this question. And Aman Sinha, I know your political affiliations, everybody knows that. But I'm seriously asking, has the BJP really walked the talk? Because if the BJP had walked the talk, then you would have fought these elections alone. You wouldn't have been cobbling up alliances across various states. You wouldn't have been leaning on 3 Stepneys in Maharashtra, to one more ladder in Bihar. You wouldn't have been leaning on a third one again in Karnataka. everywhere you have not had the courage to go it alone, and you have replaced, when I say you, the government has replaced more than 100 of its MPs who were elected the last time around. Now that's not a strike rate, that means that there is inefficiency. Not everything's been done. As a citizen, you think you've ticked all the boxes.
Thank you very much, Anand. First of all, I'd like to say, starting from UP, if you recall 10 years back, what was the scenario? UP was lying in abject neglect for lack of development, crime, corruption, lack of law and order was the order of the day. And the today's scenario, it's a stark contrast between, like, as if in day and night. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government came in 2014, we have seen rapid development in all arenas, in all sectors in Uttar Pradesh, starting with infrastructure. Today, in past 10 years, I think about more than 4,000 kilometers of expressway has been built. More than 2,500 kilometers of high-speed railway line has been laid down. You know, there are new medical colleges, there are new AIIMS. UP today has overtaken number of states to become second in terms of GDP of states in India. And law and order, obviously, once it becomes the way it is, you know, that means that there is not that much crime
really law and
related.
order, or
Yes,
is it
yes.
just a perception? Because just 2 days back, there have been journalists who've been gunned down in broad daylight in 2 cities in Uttar Pradesh.
No,
So-
nobody says that crime will be totally extinguished. But if you see a relative picture, the scenario is that large number of heinous crimes have drastically come down. And my friend Vikram ji will second me on that. More than the heinous crimes actually have come down by 50%. Most of the Prime Minister's central schemes, Anand, whether it is PM Awas Yojana, more than 50 lakh beneficiaries are there of PM Awas Yojana in UP itself. Ujjwala Yojana, whether it is, Kisan Bima Yojana, large number of such massive welfare schemes of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the central government, the UP has been performing as the #1 state. And Chief Minister Yogi ji has been implementing the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi very ably. And not only that, Anand, let me tell you that today UP has also vowed that they'll become a $1 trillion economy. And Prime Minister has very clearly stated, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has very clearly stated that for development of India, UP is going to be the most critical state. And once UP is on the fast track to progress, you see India's GDP progressing rapidly.
See, nearly, say 1/5 of the nation's population resides in Uttar Pradesh. So it's not a small number. And you may say that delivery of schemes has happened. Last week there was a rape in Bharej. There was a young girl again who was assaulted in Badaयूं. So these stories have not stopped.
No,
So,
Anand, it
and
is
law and order is
extremely-
a state subject.
Yes.
So my question to you is, why is the BJP saying it will return better than the last time, this time around? Why should the voter come back and vote for you? What is it that stands out?
What stands out is the contrast of day and night. The situation which was prevailing prior to 2014 and the situation which is prevailing today. And what lies in future is rapid progress ahead, rapid development
If that's
ahead.
the case, it's a quasi-political question. I'm interrupting you, my apologies, is because in Bihar and in UP, the BJP has actually allied with those it fought against the last time around. It's not fighting on its own. You're still using support. So if you've really delivered on ground, politically you should not want the support. You should say, I'll do it alone.
Anand, you are a very experienced, astute political journalist. You've covered many elections. And BJP, you know, whether it was 2014 or 19, we came to power with clear, comfortable majority. And even this time around, we'll have majority on our own. But since we are also a very wide spectrum alliance, we respect our allies and we maintain the coalition dharma. So therefore, if partners are coming along and allying with us, then that is something which you should compliment
in this
us
case,
about.
I'm asking you, in Uttar Pradesh, the Bharat Ratna to Chaudhry Charan Singh and the alliance with RLD, okay, it happened with a particular notion. The Kushwahas, who were not there with you last time, or O.P. Rajbhar was not there with you last time, he's come this time. JDU, on the cusp of this one, because the Bharat Ratna was announced to Karpuri Thakurji. So, I'm not saying it was politically linked, but there is a connection that will be drawn with the intent of saying, listen, come, let's work together. Then the BJP should have not been the one making the gesture, right? If you are confident on your own, they should have come back and say, listen, we want to work with you. There's a difference. Aman Sinha, I want to work with you, and Aman Sinha says, Anand, I want to work with you. There's a difference, right?
Yes, and the difference also could be that Anand, me and you, we both want to work together. So the point is, Anand, that very clearly BJP is very comfortably placed. We are going to come win this particular elections also with massive majority. But we have an alliance, we have long-standing coalition partners. There are some who go, there are some new who come. And, this goes on. So therefore, I don't think there is anything anything negative to be read there. If at all, what can be construed is that large number of political parties are coming and trying to align with BJP.
I'm asking I'll come back to you on this, Aman, and I'm asking this question largely as a voter. As a voter, I identified BJP with a particular ideology where it was very, very clear. Today, Vikram Singh ji, do you see the BJP going the Congress way? What the Congress was in the 70s and the 80s, what it then became, it started getting on everybody. The dilution of the core principles and the ideology. Do you not see that? Yes, integral humanism was something that was espoused at that time by the BJP, and it's been carried forward ever since it was from the time of the Janasangh, and Deen Dayal Upadhyay broke away and he spoke about it, and they've continued to try and walk that path, be it the RSS and the BJP. But today, when you ally with those who you have criticized in the past, when you ally with those who are ideologically not aligned, but strategically today are aligned, do you as a voter believe, yaar, ye kahan ja rahe hain?
Anandji, thank you very much for calling me over in this very interesting interaction. Politics makes strange bedfellows is not something that I have coined. It was coined by people much more learned than I am many, many, many decades ago. It is not a matter of convenience, it is a matter of expediency, one. The fact of the matter is the only dharma of any war is victory. And to have people, and I could go on and on, whether it's for the Ramayana or the Mahabharata, if you have to ensure victory, you have to choose your partners and allies very, very carefully. To your question, is BJP going on the Congress way? Comparison should be between comparables. I have lived long enough to see the Congress, the emergence, the growth, and the decline, and I do hope the decimation of this grand old party.
Right.
But that party, at that point of time, when you mentioned the 70s, I was very much in service, that this party is now relegated to air-conditioned circuit house rooms and to bottled water and helicopters. You'll understand the pun I'm using.
Yes.
I know how to spell helicopter, but I'm saying helicopters. Well, if that be the level of depravity and being addicted to the petty conveniences, God save you. And the rest is history. Today, I do feel that, yes, apart from the fact that they have not been very choosy and particular about the high moral ground which they profess to be. Apart from that, I feel that yes, they have chosen the partners with a sense of victory in the horizon, and they have a right to do it. Look at international geopolitical situations, look at Israel, look where Dubai and Saudi Arabia are heading. If they are free to befriend and have diplomatic relations with anyone they choose to, where the long-term interests are served, I don't think there's any permanent enemy or a permanent friend.
So you believe that it's all right, and you cannot fight a war alone or fight a battle like this alone. A battle for Bharat has to be fought with able friends, and our scriptures are evidence that every great king or every great ruler had to take and lean on support and lean on allies who were strategically important to the larger cause or what it was done. So, so interesting perspective there. Shamona, where would you stand? As an educationist, I think one of the fields is education. One of the biggest places where we need to grow by leaps and bounds is education. Yeah.
Firstly, I would like to say that thank you very much for having me here. And secondly, I would also state that whenever I say something about politics, I make it very clear that I am not for or against any party. I feel politicians are one, and they're always, doing things according to what the political party requires at that point in time. So it is not against anybody, and as a human being, I can't sit and judge a prime minister or a chief minister on what they're doing, because what they're doing is commendable. Where they have reached today is a lot of perseverance and discipline. But as a citizen, when I sit here, and as a voter, when I go to vote, I do have some kind of questions that come to my mind. If you talk about development, yes, I have moved to Lucknow about 14 years ago, and before moving to my democratic country where I am from, I was residing in Abu Dhabi, which is a monarchy. And when I see those traits, which I was fed up of when I left Abu Dhabi and I came here, I would not say, use the negative word of fed up, but which was not morally fitting my grounds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm educated, another Arab national is educated, but why is he paid 3 times more than me? I'm doing all the work. I'm an Indian. I'm here. I'm educated. Why is he getting more salary than me? Okay, I'm going to go to my country and I'm going to be there. And then you come to your country and then you see that things and courses and events around you are putting you into that stratification. You know, if you are from a politically affluent family, it's easier for you to get stuff done. If you are, you know, aligned with some kind of VIPs or good business families, it's easier for you to get weight. Why? Why is that disparity still there after all the development we've had? I remember 14 years ago, I used to come to one particular, we're sitting on the river front, one particular area over here to see, you know, flag posts. Like, you know, there was lights over there, and I was like, oh, this feels like Abu Dhabi. This is nice. This is, you know, feeling good. And today we see electricity everywhere.
Right.
Like, it's lit. Lucknow is lit. And that's the growth and development you talk about, that it has come up in terms of malls, institutions, hospitals, a lot of growth and development that you see. But where they have done that, what about the things that we were waiting for, like the riverfront we're sitting? Why was this halt? Like, as a citizen, I want to know that why was this project just put a full stop to? Because it was a previous government doing it. Now the next government is doing so much of development in Ayodhya, but now if the next government is going to, you know, come and stop that, then what about the citizens? What about our tax money? What's happening? Like, we're just like a ping pong ball from here to there,
Right.
waiting for developing.
Yeah.
And, you know, in terms of
So
sociology,
good work should be continued. It should
it
not
should be continued,
yeah,
and
no.
there should be an answer. We are
Right.
in a democracy. We need to respect that, and we have fought and fought for this democracy. So why are we fighting amongst ourselves? You see at, you know, the parliament and the Lok Sabha, people are like jumping on each other. You don't want to see all that with educated people, you know, who have fought elections and reached there.
But these are people who these are people who we have either voted or they have been
Yes,
selected.
because that's what I'm trying to tell you, that what is the truth? What is the real phase? Where are we, you know, at?
So let me ask you this. Now, since you've talked about it, let me ask you this. So what do you think are you looking for when you go out to cast your vote?
When I'm going out to cast my vote, I'm looking for a government that I believe in will implement what schemes they are coming up with. As our dear friend said that there are 41 schemes. Of course, there are 41 schemes. There are 100 schemes coming every day. But how are we implementing them? And who's accountable for their implementation?
So since you work in that sector,
Yes.
do you see some of the work which been done in the last 10 years reach at the grassroots? Since you wo-
Delivered?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I was very, correct me if I'm wrong, was excited about a scheme which is called Swachh Bharat.
Okay.
You know, Bharat will be clean, and Uttar Pradesh is a largely populated, it's the largest populated state in India, and I understand cleaning is not easy, but I do not see it as much as I expected it to be
Correct.
there.
So after the first 2 or 3 years when it was,
It was
launched,
fizzled out.
then this whole game of waste management, Swachh Bharat,
Environment,
Waha.
everything.
So, has it been delivered? Have they really walked the talk? So, one of the issues which come, but will this actually swing my vote, or will I come back and say, listen, this is the guy who started it?
Also
So-
NEP.
NEP,
Since I am
National
an
Education
educationalist, also NEP, you know, when you're changing an education policy, how are you implementing it? One school is implementing it. I know it is not easy. We are a very big country, and to be sitting on the head, it is not easy. We are all agreeing to that. But also, how are we going to manage that?
Right.
You know?
So let's pause on the NEP and then look at the actual deliverables. As a voter, are we even considering all this? या फिर हम emotion में ही जाकर vote करके आते
कर रहे हैं,
हैं?
बिल्कुल।
हाँ. So we'll talk about that after a very, very short break. Stay with us. Back on, ladies and gentlemen, and we left at the deliverables. What are the actual issues? Education, has there been delivery? Law and order in the real sense, corruption in the real sense, has there been delivery? Now, let's take this forward. Shamona Khan, you talked about education, since you're an educationist. Grassroots level पे क्या उतने teachers हैं कि NEP आप implement कर सकते हैं? Are there, so, but is this an electoral issue? Has anybody made it?
Education, if you don't consider it as an electoral issue, I'm sorry for that, but I think there is a problem. If you don't put education on the top 5 of any agenda, then you know where the country is going. And in books of sociology today, we have come down from a developing country to an underdeveloped country. It is not because of the government. It is just because of the population increase. It is just because of various things that have backfired in terms of employment and in terms of free ration and other things that are probably taking people away from the desire and motivation of working. When we talk about psychologically, you know, the dominance hierarchy, where people are just following one leader, and they are banking answers and questions on one leader, that this person will find all the solutions to our problem. That is the kind of leader that you're looking for. And that is why people are just blindly following. And where they are going is going to determine the growth.
The moment that happens, then you're discouraging thinking, innovation, and also collective thinking. Now, yes, Aman Sinha wanted to say, jump in. Yeah.
Anand, as far as delivery is concerned, the prime focus of this government in 2014 has been on the last mile connectivity, delivery to the last citizen who's standing in the row. You would recall there's a famous quote from our previous Prime Minister once upon a time when he said that when he sends 1 rupee from Delhi, some 20 paise or something
15
reaches.
paise, yeah.
15 paise. So today, if 1 rupee is being sent, then 1 rupee reaches, and it reaches instantly. In fact, in PM Kisan Nidhi and large number of other schemes, they are, you know, Germany, certain other foreign countries, they were all surprised at how India is able to transmit that kind of money to crores and crores of people
where
in
there
one
is
shot.
credit being given,
Now, there is if I may just complete,
please,
Anand.
please.
In, you know, there is a trinity of JAM, which is, you know, the Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, through which there is targeted delivery. No, it is very easy to make a sweeping statement and say that there has been no delivery here and
it's
there.
not a sweeping statement. See, credit is given where it is due. In terms of deliverables, direct benefit transfer to reach, you know, financial aid, even when it comes to PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, the money is reaching. But one of the core pillars is education. The other pillar is skilling and jobs. Now, these are two places. These are two places. How much of attention has been given to in the BJP's and the Congress's manifesto on this is one question, and as citizens, how much of importance do we give it? Because when we speak to youngsters, the biggest problem, biggest tension is employability. When we go into schools, their biggest need is teachers.
Now,
and
you posed a query to me, if I may respond.
Yeah, and then Vikramji
Now,
and also
you
Shantanu. Yeah.
asked about education. Education, in fact, education and skill development both. These ministries were constituted after Prime Minister Narendra Modi came in government as Prime Minister of India in 2014. A national education policy was in works for more than 40-50 years. There was no national education policy. This government came up with national education policy. Year after year, allocations to education have been hitting all-time high. And therefore, you know, to simply make a statement and say that there is no delivery, I would not agree with that. I do not know which textbook in the world says that India is becoming underdeveloped from being developing. The entire world is standing up and saying, whether it is IMF, whether it is World Bank, everybody says India is the bright spot in the global economy. Indian economy is the only one which is robust, resurgent, resilient, can withstand COVID, you know, global wars, etc. I do not know what is this kind of
but here is the
definition
thing,
which is being made here.
Aman, when we are at 150, if we come up to 100, we may have gained 50 points, but the fact is we've got 100 more to go.
That's all right.
There's a reality.
Nobody is saying that we have attained saturation.
Like I said,
we
see,
have a long
11
way
crore,
to go.
11 crore.
We have a long way to go, but at the same time, you cannot run down the achievements of this government by making a sweeping statement like it is becoming, no, and it's not against the government. Underdeveloped, I do not agree with this at all. Anybody else is going to. Which sociology? And what is the credit
of the growth and development, global growth and
I would not
development
agree with
of
that.
people.
Okay.
Please let Madam show me that textbook which says.
See,
so. I do not agree with that.
let's park this here and say, let's agree to disagree. I'm asking from a citizen's point of view, how much does education education matter when I go out to vote? Vikramji, that's where I'm coming from. Police reforms. We are 1:1, one constable or one police officer to every 725 or 730 people. That's the average in India. Or 1:800 is the number. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that enough? Police reforms is something, where is it in part of anybody's manifesto when internal security is one of our biggest challenges? I'm just asking you, is it part of any citizen's manifesto when they go out to vote?
Anandji, to the first education, I'm heading a private university and I have hands-on experience in saying that the national education policy is a great blessing, totally user-friendly, and it gives the option to the students for multiple entries, multiple exits, on-job experience, hands-on experience, and I think it's only a matter of time before we all realize that this is a blessing. Now, coming to your question about policing. Of course, there were lakhs and lakhs of vacancies, not only the state of Uttar Pradesh, but all across the country. But now the process of recruitment has started, and you'd be happy to know, lakhs of recruitments have happened in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and also force multipliers. The number, as you said, the population is to a constable ratio. You have Trineth scheme in Uttar Pradesh. I'll give you one example. 10 lakh, 1 million CCTVs have been put right across, as also there's a projection of another 2 million to be put across. Now it is impossible. We are sitting here, but make no mistake about it. Of course, we have nothing to hide, but every movement will be noted by the city control room, and this goes right across the state of Uttar Pradesh. Law and order. Comparison again should be between comparables. I would say there was a time when the head of state would shake hands with the dog of a mafia. Today, if the chief minister says, "Mitti mein mila dunga," you have to have that moral strength to say that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even the strength even to look towards them. But the fact of the matter is that almost all the mafia are finished. And also, you see the number of thousands of lakhs of properties recovered from them. And also, it is not just the constables. You start small, dream big, but yes, start now. And this exactly is the process that has started. And you have the recruitment, you have force multipliers, and the impact is very, very clear. On the ground, you would see murder is one offense, one crime that can never be minimized. If there is a 46% decline in murders, 86% in dacoity, more than 55% in kidnapping for ransom, obviously the police and the law enforcement agencies must have done something very well.
Right. So law and order overall is a state subject, but reforms, policy-wise, and in terms of understanding, and like the Nyaya Sanhita coming in place and it coming into option, is something which is a policy thing which is being done at the center. But you were saying something, Shantanu, and Anamika ji will come to
I
you.
think I love the eagerness that Shimona Khanji has shown while she's speaking. I know why she's eager, because she's eager. She also knows that only someone like a Narendra Modi and Yogi can only deliver it. By God's bad luck, if the kinds of the leaders who supported kinds of Atiq Ahmed and Mukhtar Ansari, if they come back, that's the eagerness is coming up. कि अगर कोई काम करेगा तो मोदी करेगा, right? I don't know how many times when you were around in education, you talked about that after 1986, we did not have education policy. And education policy only came when Narendra Modi came in power, right? So we were silently for 40 years, but now Narendra Modi will do everything. Narendra Modi will make bridges also, he will appoint chief ministers like Yogi Adityanath also, he will create relationships with foreign countries also, he will do everything, right? So I think we are finding that Masiha Narendra Modi, and that's the, I think, sentiment she's speaking. कि अगर problem है भी, तो solve Narendra Modi कर पाएगा.
No, but the point is, she's also saying, she's also saying that if everything is going to be done by Modi, तो हम और आप क्या करने वाले हैं? So, no, where is the collective thinking? Where is the collective thinking, collective policy making, inclusive policy? Then we are automatically saying, तुम ही करो, हम नहीं कर रहे भाई. तुम जो कहोगे वो करेंगे. नहीं किया तो नहीं किया, तुमको ही डांटेंगे. Don't blame me. Yeah. Is that also the right way to go?
That's why when Narendra Modi said सबका साथ, सबका विकास, then she said सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, and then he added सबका प्रयास. And then if she says the roads are not so clean. I think when in India we had a cleanness ranking. Now Indore and Bhopal.
Roads are not clean. I said Swachh Bharat was an excellent scheme. That
Beautiful.
was one scheme that,
I'm commenting on that.
But the scheme, the propaganda of the scheme faded away over a period of time.
It ran out of steam. The moment, the year when we were ODF, we were declared ODF free.
Anand, first we have to educate ourselves. First we have to educate ourselves that Swachh Bharat has two major elements. One is basically stopping open defecation, right? India has made 10 crores toilet. And these female has to get up before the sunrise so that they can go to the loo before, because अगर sunrise हो जाएगा तो लोग उनको देख लेंगे. And they have to struggle with snakes and bichus and mawalis every day. Now they just go to Ijjatkar. This is not normal. This is not normal.
Is that actually manifest on ground? That's one part. The other part, Anamika ji, I also wanted to come back to, कि हमने 10 साल में ये करके दिखाया, इसलिए आप हमें वोट कीजिए. अगले 100 दिन और अगले 5 साल में हम क्या करेंगे, क्या ये बताया गया है? क्या ये वोटर सोच रहा है? और जो लाभ उसको मिल गया, हम लोग बड़े एज वोटर्स बड़े फिकल होते हैं ना। सड़क बन गई, अब क्या, गाड़ी चाहिए, गाड़ी आ गई, अब क्या, बस चाहिए, बस आ गई, अब क्या, एसी बस चाहिए, फिर ट्रेन चाहिए, तो बस तो फिर डिस्काउंट हो गया ना, वो तो पहले ही है। ये वोटर ऐसा सोचता है कि आप सोचते हैं, तो फिर आपके मैनिफेस्टो में आप क्या चाहेंगे कि ये सरकार क्या करे नेक्स्ट 5 इयर्स?
आपने 10 साल में जो कुछ देखा है, इसमें कहाँ शक है कि हाँ हम वही देख करके वोट ना दें? ये किसने कहा? हम वही देख के वोट देंगे ना। आपको मैं बताती हूँ, हम लोग कलाकार हैं और मुझे लगता है एक पॉइंट कलाकारों का भी होना चाहिए, पोएट है। कविताओं का मींस कविता आज मास नहीं है लोगों तक। पोएट्री लोगों के लिए किताबों में होती है, उसको प्रस्तुत कैसे करते, परफॉर्मेंसेस क्या होती हैं, उससे अर्निंग भी हो सकती है। स्वरोजगार जैसी योजना हम अपनी पोएट्री से या कलाकार अपने परफॉर्मेंस से भी कमा सकते हैं, स्वरोजगार कर सकते हैं। ऐसी बातों पर जोर दिया जाना, ये पिछले 10 सालों में हमने सीखा है। उससे पहले एक इमेज बनी हुई थी, कोई कवि होगा उसके बारे में आप सोचेंगे लंबा सा झोला टांगे हुए, बड़ी सी दाढ़ी होगी और वो किताब अपने लिए होगा, आप उसे सुनना चाहेंगे, सुनेंगे। आज ग्लैमराइज हो गए। हमें बताया गया है कि इफ यू आर स्किल्ड, इफ यू आर हैविंग एनी स्किल, यू हैव टू यूज योर स्किल। दिस इज कॉल्ड स्वरोजगार। आप अपना रोजगार खुद शुरू कर सकते हैं। तो ये क्यों ना कहा जाए कि जो हमने 10 साल में देख लिया है, जिन जिन बातों में विश्वास हुआ है, चाहे वो हमारे घर की परेशानी हो, राशन सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत जो राशन की है, ये जैसे उन्होंने बताया टॉयलेट को लेकर के बात बताई है, बहुत इजी नहीं था। गांव की महिलाओं को खेत में जाना इजी नहीं था। हम लोग घर में बैठ करके बहुत सारी चीजों में लड़कियों को बाहर निकल के आना इजी नहीं था। लेकिन एक विश्वास हमें दिया गया, हमें सुरक्षा दी गई, हमें सुविधाएं दी गई। मैं सुरक्षा भी क्या, सुविधाएं दी गई, जिसके कारण हम आज आ रहे हैं।
मैं आपसे पूछूं
जी,
पिछले 10 साल में या पिछले 4-5 साल में ही पूछ लीजिए, आप इधर उधर, आप पूरे देश भर में भ्रमण करती हैं, इंटरनेशनल भी जाती हैं, पर मेरठ, उत्तर प्रदेश और देश भर में ही आपको क्या ट्रैवल इजी हो गया पहले से?
बहुत ज्यादा।
आप एज अ महिला, एज अ लेडी, क्या आपके पास एक्सेस टू शौचालय, access to basic this one, has it improved, has it become better?
बिल्कुल। आप कहीं भी जाते हैं, हमें एक बहुत देर तक वेट करना होता था, कहीं पेट्रोल पंप है। मेरठ टू दिल्ली की तो बहुत शानदार बात है, मैं आपको बताती हूँ। 7-8 साल पहले तब ये प्रोसेसिंग था। मैं ये नहीं कहूंगी अभी 1 मिनट में लोग देखने वाले कहने लग जाएंगे अच्छा ये तो 10 साल के बीच की बात है। बहुत सारी बातें, कुछ बातें ऐसी होती है जो जिनको लोगों में धैर्य की कमी है। अभी ये बात चल रही थी कि मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ या सोच रही हूँ, बट वो दिखाई ही नहीं दे रहा। धैर्य की कमी है। क्राइम हो रहा है, हम मना नहीं कर रहे। मैं यहाँ बैठकर एक बार भी नहीं कहूंगी क्राइम नहीं हो रहा है। क्राइम रेट कम हुआ है, नो डाउट। क्राइम हो रहा है, ये भी, इसमें भी कोई शक नहीं। लेकिन ये इट्स डिपेंड ऑन जस्टिस। आपकी न्याय व्यवस्था क्या है? आप क्राइम को होने से नहीं रोक सकते। आप क्राइम को होने से नहीं रोक सकते, लेकिन आपकी न्याय व्यवस्था क्या है? आप न्याय व्यवस्था वो है जिसपे वोटर विश्वास करके वोट देते हैं। मेरठ की बात और बता दूं, ट्रैवल, बहुत अच्छी बात आपने पूछी। और ये सबसे ज्यादा मुझे लगता है यहाँ बैठकर मैं ही बता सकती हूँ कि मैं कितनी ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल हूँ। आज से 7-8 साल पहले प्रोसेसिंग था, अब बनकर के रोड तैयार है। तब ये हाल था कि मुझे दिल्ली से मेरठ से नोएडा फिल्म सिटी पहुंचने में 4 घंटे लगते थे। और 4 घंटे रास्ता उतना ही है, 4 घंटे ट्रैफिक के कारण, ना तो बाईपास था ना रोड थे। रोड जो था वो हमें अंदर से होकर के जाना होता था। आज 45 मिनट्स में, मींस आप नोएडा, दिल्ली से नोएडा जाने वालों को ट्रैफिक के कारण टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा, बट मेरठ टू नोएडा जाने के लिए हम 45 मिनट्स में पहुंचते हैं। जी। ये हाईवेज होने के कारण, सबसे ज्यादा एक्सप्रेस वे होने के कारण हमें ट्रेवल इजी हो गया। हम जैसे कलाकारों को इजी हो गया, हम 4 दिन में 2 प्रोग्राम लेते थे, हम 4 दिन में 4 ले सकते हैं।
तो यानी कि उससे आपकी आमदनी भी बढ़ गई। शांतनु wanted to say something and then Aman, yeah. And then I'll come to you.
All these numbers that we keep saying that earlier we had 10 kilometers of road per day, now we have 40 kilometers of road per day. We have added 11,000 kilometers of roads, right? And multiple kilometers of highways, 75 new airports, right? So when you use them, right, and you as a journalist, when traveling around in UP has become so easy. If you can go to Purvanchal and go to Bundelkhand, come back to Delhi within 2-3 days.
Can
Now
I say
there are
something?
8 airports where you can go and come back in a day, which was quite a imagination.
So connectivity has increased, and,
Superbly.
also, and that connectivity
that-
would not
that
have been
converts to income,
sustainable
that
had more
converts to
people
income.
not been traveling. So that means
And
more
that-
people are also traveling by air and using the airports and
Yeah, 9
aircraft.
airports.
पर मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि क्या उससे वोट कर देते हैं? Is there a next sentiment कि अब क्या? Or somebody else comes and says, I promise you this. This is what I'll do for you. Does that then change things?
Anand,
Anand, Vikramji, and then Shamuna. We'll wind
Anand,
up.
that is the distinction between BJP and several other parties. That what, even if you see 2019 manifesto, whatever BJP promises in the manifesto, there is a follow-up action on that, and invariably they deliver. There may be instances where some promises may not have been able to be fulfilled, but there is certainly a follow-up action, which may not be the case in other situations. But there was a very important issue that you flagged and that remained unanswered. My Vikramji also flagged that issue of reforms. Now, the 3 criminal laws which have come in, they are transformational changes into Indian Penal Code was made by Lord Macaulay way back in 1834. He was tasked by East India Company to come up with a set of criminal legislations 190 years back, Anand, would you believe it? And it was enacted in 1860, and the same archaic structure carried on. And Lord Macaulay, you would imagine the kind of mindset he would have had, because at that time the only objective was to secure their imperialist colonial objectives. Now, these 3 changes, these 3 laws, when they come in, they are implemented from 1st of July. Our criminal trials are going to become time-bound. Going ahead on that, I can very much see, Anand, that even our civil trials, civil proceedings, commercial proceedings, they are all going to be time-bound, they are all going to be
Well,
expedited.
the impact of that will not be seen in 24. It may be seen in
See,
26 or in
everything
29.
is not electoral. Everything is not electoral.
That's for the voter to decide.
Anandji, this is the wish list of the voters that has come through. 0 FIR, gang rapes, death penalty, as also the fact that mob lynching, all the things and the guidelines given by the Supreme Court have been incorporated in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Saksh Sanhita. Electronic evidence and digitization of all records, and the use of forensic science laboratory and the forensic tools in investigation. What more did we expect? Of course, the taste of the pudding lies in its eating.
Eating,
and
yes.
The fact of the matter is, अगर हम मूल्यांकन नहीं करेंगे तो वोट किस आधार पे देंगे? कल्पना शक्ति पे तो देंगे नहीं, और जो सड़क बनी है तो ये एक प्रमाण है. अगर डिलीवरी सिस्टम अच्छा है तो ये प्रमाण है, गवर्नेंस अच्छी है तो वो प्रमाण है. अगर इसके आधार पर वोट नहीं देंगे तो किसके आधार पर देंगे?
किसके आधार
बिल्कुल
पर?
सही बात।
तो जो 10 साल में 5 साल में हुआ है उसके आधार पर देंगे, लेकिन उसके आगे का क्या, उसके बारे में सोचेंगे कि नहीं? फाइनल वर्ड, शमुना जी, विल वाइंड अप आफ्टर दैट. या
Sure. Firstly, I would like to say that on this platform, when I sit here, I don't sit here as a politician or politically inclined ally or something that is of, I have with me very well-read and established people. We have a cop, we have a poet, we have a lawyer, we have a cartoonist.
And
So
an
I'm sitting
author,
as a
actually.
normal citizen.
Good to
I'm
see the
just-
cartoons actually making the noise. Huh?
I'm
Shastri
just
se aapke
a
bola, yeah.
citizen, and I'm not here with any homework. I'm here as a citizen of India, and I do not wish to leave my country ever. I want to see it the best, and if we say it is perfect, then it stops the, growth.
No, I
There
don't think
and then.
anybody is
So
saying
we
that it's
cannot-
perfect.
yes,
but
we have
should we
to-
be should we
have
be
to not
happy
get-
about it? Yeah.
Yes, we
should
have
we be
to
happy about
of
where we
course.
progressed? Are we
Everything
happy?
they have said, yes, of course. Why not? Why will India not grow? We have so much brain that is, migrating all the time, that is looking for better earning, going here and there. All that brain is India. Everything, like look at our country. We were under the British rule for so long. Why? Because we had so much in our country.
Right.
And we fought for our independence. ब्रिटिश राज में भी बहुत अच्छी ट्रेनें चली थी, बहुत अच्छा लॉ एंड ऑर्डर
वो
था,
यहाँ से लूटने के लिए लेके गए
लेकिन
थे।
हमें स्वतंत्र रहना था, हमें इंडिपेंडेंस चाहिए थी।
उन्होंने ट्रेन्स जो थी यहाँ से सारी दौलत लूटने के लिए बनाई थी,
जी।
and that too between after the 1857 mutiny they actually accelerated it,
Yes.
and between 1870 1880 till 1920 that's when this happened. बट वो बनी अलग मंशा से थी, पोस्टल सर्विस भी बनी अलग मंशा से थी।
जी
अब आज हम जो बना रहे हैं वो जोड़ने के लिए बना रहे हैं।
जोड़ने के लिए बना रहे हैं।
हाँ, मैं एक बात कहना चाहूंगी।
Foremost chapters, just 1 minute, Anamika ji.
प्लीज।
The foremost chapters are all aimed towards protection of the, assets and resources of the British Raj. Please,
जी।
now that has been replaced by there's a dedicated
मैं
devoted
हाँ,
chapter,
हाँ, yes.
protection of
हाँ,
women and child.
Okay.
तो अंत
If you
कुछ
permit,
पंक्तियों से
then-
भी करें। हाँ, आप
हाँ,
अपनी
मैं
बात
आपकी
रखें और फिर
CNN के
पंक्तियों
लिए
से।
बोल रही थी। देखिए, ब्रिटिश ने बहुत अच्छी यहाँ पे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर बहुत अच्छा था, उनकी अरेंजमेंट्स बहुत अच्छे थे। कई बार माँ जो होती है वो बच्चे को जोर से पीटती है, बहुत ज्यादा पीटती है, पर उसका पीटना बुरा नहीं लगता, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि वो जो कर रही है वो अच्छे के लिए कर रही है। वो देश से बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, जैसे आपने कहा मंशा बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है। ब्रिटिशर्स का उद्देश्य वो नहीं था, जो उद्देश्य हमें पता है कि सामने वाले का क्या है। और CNN के लिए लास्ट वर्ड्स
जी,
आप
बिल्कुल।
सब के लिए, और
इसी से we will
खास तौर
end।
से आपके लिए भी। जो दिल में है वही कहने की हिम्मत क्यों नहीं करते, जो दिल में है वही कहने की हिम्मत क्यों नहीं करते, नहीं मंजूर है मंजर बगावत क्यों नहीं करते, मोहब्बत है कि नफरत है, अदावत है कि राहत है, मोहब्बत है कि नफरत है, अदावत है कि राहत है, शिकायत है अगर तुमको, शिकायत क्यों नहीं
करते। क्या बात है,
शिकायत
बहुत बहुत
क्यों नहीं?
धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू very much. Hope you enjoyed watching yet another edition of the Citizens Manifesto coming to you from Lucknow. Thank you for watching.